¿Qué pasa, mi raza? You're now tuned in to I Don't Know That's Perfect. I am Mario from the South Side, and we're here yet again for another amazing episode with another amazing guest. I was gonna try something a little different, but we will kind of jump into it later because I want to try to switch things up. But today I'm sitting with somebody who is talent, very talented in so many ways, and just everything that he's been working on and just as a part of it seems like no matter what they do, it's aesthetically pleasing visually and to the ears. So today I am sitting down with Midnight Navy.
Hey, what's
¿Qué
going
onda,
on?
bro? ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, bro. ¿Usted?
Well, good, bro. Just been trying to. It's Sunday, so we're trying to keep up with our football teams today. You know, our fantasy's been kind of a
Yeah,
back and
man.
forth. It's a stressful day. I'm
Yeah.
glad football is back, but it's a little bit stressful. You know.
It's a mix, man. This is my second season doing fantasy
Yeah.
with my friends, and it's fun, but it's also like you said, some days a little
Yeah.
stressful.
It's a cool
Yeah.
thing because like I never. This is also my second year doing it, so it's an
Mhm.
interesting concept because like you literally are just like betting on what players are gonna do good or bad. But
Yeah.
it's fun because it's a distraction and you kind of just keep up with your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
But just for those that are tuned in, go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know who you are and what it is that you do.
Cool. Yeah. So, Midnight Navy, singer songwriter, producer, saxophonist. I've been making music for a while now, and under that moniker. And yeah, a lot of what I do is on the music side, but also do creative direction for artists and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it seems like you have kind of that going on because I've seen from
Mhm.
like your cover art and just going through like your Instagram, you have like this sort of aesthetic that kind of it's like a. You
Mm.
would think it's something that comes from like an oldies time
Mm.
frame, so that's
Yeah.
it's really cool. How long have you been working on music yourself for?
Oh man, it's been probably since middle school, but that's probably when I was really introduced to music.
Mm-hmm.
I was in band. My first instrument was saxophone,
Okay,
so
you
I've
got
always
stuck with it.
stuck with it. Middle school and high school, and then I self-taught with piano like after high school,
Okay,
and then really got into making more of my music under Midnight Navy,
Mhm.
like post college, that
Okay.
sort of thing. But yeah, it's always kind of been around. My brother was always a big influence because he went to school for music,
Okay.
classical guitar.
Oh
So
wow.
he was like on the next level of like really taking it serious. So that was always really cool to see.
Do y'all ever like? Did y'all have chances to where y'all get to like jam out together, just kind of bounce up? Because that's like a whole different
Yeah.
style that you could rip off of.
Yeah, what's funny is he's always been really into like pop music as well.
Okay.
More rock music, but lately it's been like a mix. So
Mm-hmm.
he likes learning songs, and when like I was growing up, because he's 7 years older than me, he would learn the songs, and I would just be like the metiche wanting to like
Try to get it.
yeah. Oh, let me sing this. So yeah, I've always had that around. So it's always been cool. I'm just like the little brother. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then in my recent project, he actually played guitar. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man. That's
So
cool.
it was like a full circle moment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Get it, bring it all in together.
Yeah.
At what point did you kind of like figure out? Because well, I'm assuming you said you started playing saxophone first. Were you
Yeah.
already singing at that point, or when did you kind of just like figure out like that? You can sing. You know, because I feel
Yeah.
like that's a talent, especially as a Latino. It's like
Yeah.
not commonly pushed on us. You know.
For sure, yeah. I think I mean we would always sing like with the family, like family gatherings.
Mhm.
But it wasn't until maybe like high school, like post high school, I would say,
Yeah.
like really trying to get into it. It's funny because like I started in middle school with my next door neighbor. His name's Colin. We actually still make music together.
Nice.
And yeah, that's my boy. And yeah, we would just try to sing and try to come up with melodies, all of this sort of thing. But I think I took it more serious like post high school.
Yeah,
going
got
into
really into
college.
it.
Yeah. Like I really wanted to focus my music and my sounds on melodies,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Whenever y'all were having family parties, was it ever like y'all were drinking and your brother pulls out the guitar and then you start singing? You know how that was
Yeah.
con la familia. You have somebody who just
Dude.
started drinking, just started singing corridos and
Dude.
ballads and all that.
Yeah, my brother was always like the entertainment for sure.
Yeah.
Like we would have gatherings and my dad would be like, "Oye, toca una canción." And then he would just be playing the guitar, and then my mom also plays guitar and sings.
Oh
so-
wow! Oh, so you come from a musical family? Like everybody.
Yeah, she definitely dabbles in that, and my dad doesn't play anything, but
Mhm.
he listens to music.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
kind of like he has like the archive mind. You know what I mean?
What was it that was like kind of playing as you grow? Because like a topic where I guess what I always talk about with like a lot of like my friends and like because I myself I'm a my parents were immigrants, so I was first generation born here.
Nice.
I have a lot of
Awesome.
friends that were like third, fourth, and so on.
Uh-huh.
And what I always noticed the difference is like what we grew up listening. Like a lot of my
Mm.
friends, like Troy, him and I always talk about like he grew up listening to like Latin hip hop, Lil Susie, and
Mm.
all stuff. Whereas I kind of grew up under Los Bukis, Temerarios, and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
what was that in your
Oh,
household?
dude, honestly, kind of similar. Los
Yeah,
Bookies, a lot of like Roberto Carlos, Los Dandies, a lot of like more boleros.
yeah, yeah,
Because my dad's dad, my grandpa, he used to listen to a lot of that,
yeah.
and my dad would also listen to that. I would say more romanticos from my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we lived in Texas, we would listen to Selena because I was born in Corpus, so
It was a
Selena was
must.
in the
Yeah,
yeah
there was no
cumbia
way you cannot.
everywhere. Yeah, but it was definitely a mix.
Hmm.
My dad was also into like a lot of classic rock,
Okay.
60s, 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of like psychedelic stuff was like stuff that I really liked that I
Hmm.
was drawn into.
Do you get a lot of inspiration from stuff like that, like stuff that kind of just gives you ideas, or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think early on, like in high school, really getting into Pink Floyd, I
Yeah.
feel was like a big thing for me, and
Hmm.
like just how they carried music and songs like with no words,
Yeah.
like until
It
like
was just like an art.
10 minutes later. Yeah,
Like you forgot the song's playing, but you're like
yeah,
lost in the trance.
yeah, man. And then obviously, if you're taking a little something extra
Yeah.
to get a little
All
elevated,
right, man. You gotta take
yeah.
something and then watch The Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz.
Oh man, that's also yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, that's very interesting, man. Because like as I was mentioning, I had actually somebody had asked me a while back, like, because I like to think that I'm pretty familiar with like a lot of the Latinos and Hispanic artists that are here in Austin.
Mhm.
And somebody had asked like, hey, like, who are the like the if I need a male vocalist, a Hispanic or somebody,
Mhm.
who is somebody that I can go to? And I was like, I felt stumped because I was
Mm.
like it's one of those things that it's not common. It's not like there's nobody else that I have came across other than yourself really that
Mm.
does it a lot. That isn't
Yeah.
already just like started out rapping and then does some singing here on the side, kind of pick it up. Whereas
Yeah.
you're already like you're an instrumentalist and you sing yourself.
Yeah.
How has that journey been for you as kind of like going into that craft?
Yeah, no, it's been good, man. It's funny because I kind of was really interested in hip hop early on and
Yeah,
rapping and all that sort of thing, and I think I got it out of my system,
yeah.
like for real,
It
like
was
trying to
like a
do it.
phase coming in and out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I think a lot of us, like when we get really interested in something,
Hmm.
I just felt like for me, singing and storytelling that way and writing that way helped. I don't know, make better music, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
For me, a little more authentic. So yeah, I think for me, it's been interesting because, like you said, like there's not a lot of other male vocalists or, I mean, I guess that sort of genre around here in
yeah,
Austin. But you see that a lot, like let's say in LA
yeah,
or even like other areas in the U.S. or even worldwide, really, that are
for
doing
sure.
like this like Spanglish kind of thing.
And now it's booming too, because like it
Yeah,
seems like it's like the hottest thing to like to be able to be like a
yeah,
Spanish artist to like switch the
yeah.
language. Because I mean, I remember years ago, like I was like bring up use Bad Bunny as the example. Like
Mm-hmm.
reggaeton was popular back then, and then it kind of died down, and
Yeah.
never really heard it come back. And then until over the last few years, where it's like the hottest thing. Like all the, I mean, you just saw who was it? Carol G sold out like the biggest stadium
Oh
concert
yeah,
out in Dallas, I think,
yeah.
and so it's cool to
Like
see it all
that.
happen, but you gotta like kind of like when you're searching down low and like on the artists that are coming up, it starts like slim picking, sort of, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting because yeah, like even now, like what's really hot is like los corridos, like
Yeah,
tumbados, and that whole wave. And I'm sure it's gonna be hot for a minute, but reggaeton seems to always stay as well.
yeah, yeah,
But that's another thing too. It's like I guess my genre, like the Spanglish kind of more chill music. You got guys like Cuco that
yeah.
really made it
Oh
like
yeah,
a lane, which I think is something that there is a little bit of a lane in there, but it's
yeah.
still
I
something
feel
to
like
explore.
he was also like one of the first to kind of like introduce in the indie
Yeah,
scene because
I think so.
I
Yeah.
remember during what was it, South by, there was a pop-up shop that my friends were having
Mhm.
at Empire, and Google was one of the openers or the
Nice.
headliner,
Mhm.
and he had a meet and greet afterwards, and some of my
Yeah.
friends that weren't really familiar, but I had heard of him just from like my earlier days. I was very into indie music, and so I was
Yeah.
familiar with him. And there was like a long ass line to just like meet him, and
Damn.
they were just shocked. They were like, "What?" They were like, "It's as if Bad Bunny was here." And I was like, "He is OG. He's like one of the main dudes that kind of opened up the
Mhm.
doors and made it like kind of cool to just like be able to like openly like being and speaking Spanish and
Yeah.
singing in that sense." So
Yeah, definitely.
it's definitely interesting to now see all these other variations and
Yeah.
styles that come about, and just having the comfortability of being able to like be ourselves and true
Hmm.
to essentially our heritage, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
how has I guess have you gone out to LA and ventured out there as far as for music and stuff like that? Because
Hmm.
Texas culture and California culture are completely different, even though they're like dominant
Hmm.
in Hispanic, you know. But how
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that over there for you?
No, it's I've been out there. My brother and sister actually live out there
Okay.
in LA, so I frequent it maybe a few times a year.
Hmm.
Um, as far as music goes, I'm trying to branch out more.
Yeah.
Um, we would go a lot, and a lot of my friends, because I went to high school in Arizona. A lot
Hmm.
of my friends did the move to California when I like post high school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was like the thing to do is like, yo, move to LA, chase your dreams, that sort of thing. So I would go out there, and they were more on the fashion design or even some music side. But now, yeah, it's been cool because I'm learning and meeting new people
Yeah.
online. And more recently, I went out to LA and shot a music video that was like kind of my ode to LA and
Yeah.
what I enjoy, what
Uh
I
huh.
love, and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's in the future for sure. It's
Yeah,
like more of
that's
that.
awesome. No, I love LA. I
Yeah.
went for the first time. We went last year,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just fell in love with it. That's just one of those things. I was like, man, I wish I could afford to live out here, you know,
Dude,
because
same.
it's
The
nice and
weather,
like, yeah, yeah,
the weather's
it's
crazy.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, it's been a little hectic for them out there recently, but
Yeah.
it's nice. Yeah, I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, what other so you recently dropped a project that we'll get into here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of built up to this project that you have? Because this is, from my understanding, your first sort of like debut full EP.
Yeah, this is the second technically, but
Okay.
I would say in the more, I guess in this world and this type of music, like kind of like the first of introducing like a lot of the more vintagey like
Hmm.
drums, kind of soulful vibe, I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
say. But yeah, man, this was like right at the middle of pandemic when I really got into
Oh
it.
wow.
Yeah, so this is like almost 2 years in the making of like
Yeah.
really trying to finish songs, working with different collaborators.
Hmm.
Like there's a couple like Marcus Bell. He's a bassist out
Yeah, yeah.
here, and I've worked with him a lot. And he's on the project on several songs. And then Guido, who's also a guitarist out here, he's on a couple tracks. So it was just like maybe a couple years of really collaborating.
Just here and there and stuff like
Yeah, and
that.
my brother as well. He's on there, Daniel
Yeah.
Rosales. So
Okay. And then
yeah,
you had also noticed you had a Grace Sorensen on there too, right?
she
Yeah,
is.
she was a friend of the pod. That was
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
came
yeah.
across. I was like, wow, like this is like perfectly fitting and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. For
What
sure.
kind of triggered to kind of like, because it feels like you realized that you were gonna head into a different direction than where you were at. Was that
Hmm.
sort of like an influence from like just with COVID when everybody was kind of forced to like stay
Hmm.
down and sit down, you know, or
Mm.
what kind of led to that?
I think it was really just a reflection of my just, personal life. You
Hmm.
know, like before I was before COVID, I was living with roommates. But even before that, like my last project, I was just me in my apartment. First moved out to Austin, that sort
Hmm.
of thing. So it was very like sad boy
Yeah.
type music, and then yeah, I mean, I got in a relationship that really just changed my perspective
Hmm.
on love and romance and all of that. And yeah, it became my muse where I really just
It
like
just blossomed
got
for you.
into it. Yeah, yeah, which is, I try to, I try to, reflect that in the music, but also make it interesting, not to like be like, oh yeah, this is just another love song,
So it's like basically like having two sides of a coin. Like on one side, it's like whenever I guess you could
Yeah,
consider like your single life when you felt like you were on your own, and
right.
now on this project, because
Yeah,
you're a father now as well. So
yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
is
yeah.
like yeah, just jumping on the other side and
It
then
is,
being able to
man.
fully thrive in it. So and
Yeah.
then the project that I'm talking about is the Melón, right? Is it
Hmm.
what brought the name the Melón? Because it's a very interesting. I like the name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, man. It's really based on a term of endearment in
mhm.
Spanish, like corazón de melón,
See.
which I mean in English, I guess it's like sweetheart.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I thought about it later. I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is like kind of
It
common.
just always sounds better in Spanish,
Yeah,
right?
that
No matter
everything
what you
sounds
say.
better, bro. But yeah, no, it was a mix of influences of kind of like I said, like my personal life, but also just my heritage. Just
Yeah.
really trying to showcase that and show love and do it in a new and unique way. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? At least what I'm trying to do, and modernize at least certain themes, certain colors. For example, like the brown and the green on the
Yeah.
cover. You know, very earthy colors that you may not like see together.
And it's funny because those are colors that actually are like they're a I forget what it's called, but it's like you know how they have usually stylists. That's a color that goes where our skin tone
Oh
too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it makes us pop out. So that's one of the things I
exactly.
immediately noticed. Like it's
Yeah,
I made that connection. So because
yeah,
whenever like I
definitely.
try to like coordinate my clothes and stuff like that, and I've come across like earthy tones, like they just
Yeah,
go amazing with our skin tone. Because
yeah.
it's rare to be able to find like stuff that actually like works for us and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. And the contrast was like the green and that sort of thing. And for me, it's always been a big inspiration of just putting together really aesthetically pleasing
hmm
things, but also making sure there's reasoning behind it and a story behind it.
yeah,
I think that's always interesting to me, at least. When I
yeah.
see other artists do it, I'm like, damn, like that's really cool. I want to implement that. I want it to be memorable,
Yeah, yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
it is, and like
Yeah.
even when I was like, I've been listening to it a lot.
Mm.
It gives me that sense of, especially because I feel like we connect back in regards to like our come up, like having our heritage and our
Yeah.
family. You had the skit where it included those conversations with your parents. I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
assuming
Yeah.
right where they're
Yeah.
talking
My
about love
parents.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, man, that's kind of like you playing this like kind of like just I feel like the project is something that I would love. I don't know if you have a record, but I would love to
Mm.
have this on a record and just kind of just
Nice.
play it.
Hopefully
Just
soon. Yeah.
you just un tequilazo or something, así, and then you just kind of
Simone.
slows down, and then you have like the conversation going on. It's
Yeah.
just it flows so perfectly. So,
Thank you, bro. Yeah.
I definitely enjoy the project a lot. Like to the point where I'm like, damn, I wish it was longer, but I also
Mm.
understand that. But
Yeah.
off of that, you said you've been working on this since like basically COVID.
Hmm.
How hard was it to kind of narrow it down to just those songs? Because it's what like maybe 18 minutes long, right?
Yeah. It's just under 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Man, I had like 2 or 3 different projects before
yeah.
this.
Man, I
Like
would
I have
imagine
I have like playlists of like different even types of
like
music too.
variations of it.
Yeah, like I took like maybe some lyrics and melodies from another song that I
hmm
did, a year ago or something. But it was challenging, but also I feel like with anything, you really pick the ones that speak the most to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always wanted to make something cohesive and like shorter
hmm
where it's digestible.
Yeah. Just
Um,
short and sweet.
yeah, yeah, just short and sweet. And some songs like Crema, the one that's featuring my brother. I just really wanted to have it on there just to continue to implement the collaboration and
hmm
you know what I mean. Just having those moments, I think is really cool.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
And you said that you yourself, like you're one of your titles is the creative director. That you helped a
Hmm.
lot of artists. Did you kind of take the whole role for yourself for this project, or did you have any help or any other visionaries, I guess, for this project?
I definitely collaborate with, like for example, like Justin Heron. He's a photographer,
Okay.
and he's done a lot of the covers
hmm
for me for like the last few projects. He's someone I collaborate really extensively, and he helped with the photography, and my homeboy Harrison also helped with the graphic design. But really, the world that I try to create. It's something that I like to take the lead on and really
hmm
sketch out like even colors, even like concepts of the different fonts and
Yeah,
sort of things like that. And I think the way I see it is like I have the idea and then I just have people also help me get to
hmm
that vision, which
like
we all need.
you bring the brainstorm, and then at that point, people come in
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so, but it's always great to like collaborate. I think it's always been a fun process for
hmm
me, just because it's like you can't do everything yourself. It's
Yeah,
like as
yeah.
much as we would like to,
Trust me, I
or
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have probably like a control issue sometimes with
Yeah,
my art.
you wanted to go your way and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or even just like damn, like if I could do everything, I would try to, but.
Yeah,
I think I'm learning more to trust in others, but also others that understand the vision. Like
for
that's the most
sure.
important. Yeah.
Like you have to find a way to be able to connect on that sense to understand that you have the same vision essentially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, just having them be a part of the project, I think just elevates, just work in general.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be able to share um, my work and also just these opportunities, you know what I
hmm
mean? Where maybe somebody sees the photography or the graphic design and, they get something out of that as well.
Yeah.
I think that's always nice.
Is there any other artists that you kind of like that you have as somebody that you go to here in the city that like whenever you're kind of stumped or you're sitting on an idea for too long, and it's somebody that you can like immediately depend on for clarity, I guess.
Yeah, I would say Colin Reynolds, the one
Mm-hmm.
that I mentioned. I've been doing music for since like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely like my right hand man. Like
Yeah.
he listens to everything before I even like put it out.
Yeah.
So he's someone I consult with. But like yeah, I mean recently just meeting new artists as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean I'm trying. He's probably the main one honestly that kind
Yeah.
of get the.
Hold on real quick.
I hear a little
Yeah, I
buzzing.
hear like a. Oh, that was the laptop. When you put it
Dang.
down, it was buzzing.
Oh,
All right, we'll
that's
get
the
that
fantasy alert.
out. Right, man.
They're like,
Man, my
watch out.
fantasy team's
Yeah.
going off right now. Like shit.
Like, goddamn.
We had the teams on the TV for a while, and I was like, damn, that's gonna be a huge distraction.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad we took it off.
No, you're good, man.
But man, yeah, going back to just the other artists or other creators in the city, do you have other people that you have yet to work with that you look forward to, or that you have yet to make happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think also another friend of the show, Sheila.
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's
yeah.
someone
Shout out
that we
Sheila.
know. Yeah, like we're working on. We've been working on stuff for a minute that I hope we finish. I know she's not in the city anymore, but I feel like she's
Oh,
still
she's
here.
out there in Florida thriving.
I know, man. I'm out here in Miami.
Right, every day
Love
living
it.
the dream, man. Shout out Sheila, man.
Shout out Sheila, but yeah, I mean, I've been working with some really cool people. There's my guitarist Guido. He's also in a band called Very Busy People,
Okay.
and I used to actually jam with those guys for like every Wednesday,
Yeah.
like, for 6 months straight before my kid
Uh-huh.
arrived. And I was like, damn, like it was just fun, just because I was getting my chops back, saxophone. And then when my boy was born, I was like, all right, I gotta stop all these commitments and
Yeah,
like
make time for yourselves.
yeah, exactly. But there's someone that I would love to continue working with.
Yeah.
And then Marcus, who's also in like bunch of other bands. You know, eventually wanting to do more projects with him because he has solo stuff coming out. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, those are a few of them.
And as far as for you, because I know you've been having some shows recently that I've been trying to catch one, but just life gets busy, and
For
I'm
sure,
hoping
man.
to catch one soon. How is your I guess your band setup that you have whenever you perform, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, no, it's so like I mentioned, Marcus on bass, Guido on guitar, and Carena.
Oh, so
who's
you
a-
still have them all come on with you, and then
Yeah. Karena's the drummer. She's probably the newer addition to just kind of like the music, but she's a badass drummer. She used to be in San Antonio. She's kind of back and forth from
Yeah.
Austin, San Antonio, but she used to be in a few bands that I remember seeing. And then she was playing guitar at that time, and then I found out she'd play drums, and I hit her up like last year. I was like, "Yo, do you want to be a drummer?"
Yeah.
She was down. But yeah, that's the group right now,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, they've been great. I mean, it's really fun to play the music, but also like collaborate beforehand. You know?
Yeah.
That's something to me is like kind of going back to just trusting people and
Yeah.
with your art, and they're people that I trust for sure.
And do you ever reach a point to where like because obviously you come across with somebody new, like her, for example, where you have a song that you've already put out and it's already out there,
Yeah.
but then like you guys start jamming and practicing, and then it kind of like grows into something else. Like, have you ever come across that where you're just like, damn, maybe we should like reiterate that or do something,
Yeah, no, for sure. That's happened. There's already like a few songs of mine that I've recorded
Yeah.
that we play different live.
Uh-huh.
But I love it because it's just like
That's
it's
the
a
beauty
different
of it.
vibe. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's live music too. Is like that was the biggest thing for me. It was like before I was doing shows myself and I had the backtrack and I was trying to play keys and sing and saxophone, but
Yeah.
it wasn't the same. It felt like a little bit more synthetic, I guess, in that sense. But now, like with everybody playing the music, more analog and more true to like, hey, we're a band, we're playing
Yeah.
the music. But yeah, there's like, for example, Flower Child, a song from the latest EP. Like we do something where we basically jam on the later half of the
Just
song.
keep it going.
And we keep it going.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
So yeah, man. Hope you can check out.
Yeah, for sure. I'll
show
definitely
soon.
be there. How do you like? How do you go from? Because you know how like whenever you go into the studio, you kind of have it in your mind that you're gonna you have this song already in your head that you're gonna record in a certain way. How do you prepare for that versus whenever you're gonna go on stage and give a live performance? Because obviously those are two completely different environments.
Yeah.
One's dedicated towards a specific project that's gonna be clean,
Yeah.
produce and all that, and then you go into the live where, like you said, y'all can keep riffing off of each other and just keep it going. Do
Yeah.
you mentally prepare different for that? Or like, do you ever feel like you get stuck in studio mode when you're on the show, or vice versa? You know?
No, that's a good question. I think early on, and we practiced literally almost a year before we even did a show.
Oh wow,
So we were like, my thing
making
was
sure
like,
y'all had it
let's,
down.
yeah, like let's play these songs and let's just check out the band chemistry,
Hmm.
which I think is really important. A lot of times I do that is like I work with new people, but it's very much just like our own project or
Yeah.
something before we introduce it to anyone else.
Hmm.
I think that's important to just have those moments and yeah, no, for them, I think it was they learned the songs really quickly,
Yeah.
and then from there it was just like, all right, let's maybe we'll add a different intro or
Yeah.
something.
And this is all stuff y'all try out during practice and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Even like vocally too,
Hmm.
because there's songs where I play saxophone and then right away I start singing.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna ask because the saxophone, like, you have to take deep breaths for that,
yeah,
and then you
man,
have to go to
there's
sing.
yeah, it's some like for example one of the songs like I play sax in the intro,
Hmm.
and then it's a drawn out intro, so I have enough time to go back to the keyboard and then start singing. So it's like a weird. It's not a weird pause, but it's just like a little bit of pause.
Yeah, you give it like some breathing room.
Yeah, and then I jump back in. So yeah, we're trying to nail down those moments. You
Yeah,
gotta you
yeah.
gotta just adjust, I guess, when in the
Do you
live
have to
setting.
do like a lot of like vocal exercises and like breathing techniques, because all those
Mm.
singing and saxophone are both like you have to be in control of your breathing and holding
Yeah.
your breath basically.
I should, bro.
Well, it's amazing that you know that you already know,
Yeah.
because I mean you're already holding it pretty good. So
Nah, thanks, man. Yeah, I would definitely want to like hone in on like just
yeah.
vocal approaches too.
I used to hear that. I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but I used to hear
Yeah.
that fucking, who was it? Beyonce would go running in heels
Uh-huh.
and sing her music as she was running, because like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I've tried it before. I'm like trying to run and see
Yeah.
how long, but I mean I run out of breath
Not
quick.
with not with
So,
heels though,
no, I
right?
am not heels, but just running in general, like trying to hold like
Yeah.
a note or just trying to sing something, like, because
Yeah.
you're using your vocal cords, like, and you're trying to breathe at the same time. So
Yeah,
I feel like
no,
that's some like master class type shit.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. It's funny because there's we've been playing this cover, this like cumbia cover live, and literally right after I finish, and it's mostly saxophone, like cumbia heavy saxophone, and then I go singing like right away.
Oh.
So I'm trying to like find a smoother transition or have like a saxophone mic because I'm like for sure out of breath like midway.
Man, yeah,
But
I can't imagine.
yeah, it's been fun though. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Definitely work in progress for those moments.
How many shows have you guys had so far now to this point?
Um, Damn, I think it's been six.
'Cause
Six so far.
today is September 10, and you recently had one like a week or two ago, right?
Yeah, we recently played Hotel Vegas.
Oh
last
yeah, that's
Friday.
the one that I wanted to go to. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember I saw that one.
Yeah, that was fun, man. And actually, my parents were in town.
Yeah.
So it was like
Oh, I saw the recap video. That was
Yeah.
dope. That was really cool. And
Yeah,
you said that was
man.
their first time watching you,
And that
right?
was the first time watching, which was just like
Man.
a special moment. Kind of full circle too with
Yeah.
the project and everything. Yeah, they're super supportive. But yeah, man, it's been 6 shows so far.
Yeah.
We got a few coming up. Actually next Tuesday.
Okay.
We have one at the ballroom. I don't know when this is gonna come out, but maybe by then the show might
Yeah.
have already happened. But yeah, no, we have some more in October and November.
Okay.
So
Man, that's interesting.
Yeah.
¿Cuándo te lo vas a llevar para México?
Ojalá muy pronto, bro.
¿Has ido para allá?
Sí.
¿A qué
yeah.
parte van?
Guadalajara mostly, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuimos, íbamos cada verano
Sí.
desde que tenía 3 años.
¿Nunca has ido a Ciudad de México? ¿Al DF?
No, quiero ir.
Sí,
Sí.
ahí sí está padre. Fui este año y me la pasé bien chido. Está padre. Ya tienen todo un distrito de cultura y de música, de
Ajá.
arte, de todo. Pero también yo siempre voy para Dolores, para Guanajuato,
Ah, okay.
la cuna de independencia. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd make a killing over there, bro. Like, you just gotta find a way to expand outward,
Man, I would love to, man. And we would go to Durango too. Like that's where my dad's from, but mostly Guadalajara. Like,
Yeah.
that's where most of my family is
Oh, so
from
you're
my
like,
mom's side.
you're arriba las chivas, right?
Same one, yo, all day, bro.
That's what I grew up on. That was my dad's team.
Yeah.
He even has my daughter. She every time she's around, she's like, "Arriba las chivas."
Las Chivas, yeah. When I was younger, yeah, I don't follow too much of
Yeah.
the Chivas as much, but
Yes.
yeah, no, it's cool, man. So it's a different culture, a different vibe, and
Yeah.
there's always been, I mean, like with the music, just trying to pay homage, and
Yeah.
I would love to do a show out there though, for
Oh
sure.
man, yeah, they definitely have a lot of talented artists, and there's
Yeah,
a few artists here and there that I follow that are from when I went out there. Because anytime I try to go visit anywhere,
yeah,
I try to like do my research and see if I can connect with somebody and just
yeah.
record or sit with some. And I've had luck here and there with some people, but
Nice.
yeah, I feel like if you were to go out there or even expand that way, it would definitely make a killing. And
Yeah,
just
man.
it's a vibe that's kind of like fitting everywhere at this point,
Mm-hmm.
for your sound as far as your sound goes. So.
No, I appreciate that. I
Um,
heard Guanajuato is really beautiful too.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. It's up in the mountains and just everything about there. Like Guanajuato is just it's everything is just all the colors, everything they have,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
pops like crazy,
I've seen, yeah.
So I definitely I try to go as much as I can. I eventually want to move back out there, just stay
Yeah.
out there, but in the
Take the pod
future.
out there.
Yeah,
throw it.
right. Just start recording with everybody. And I've talked to certain people out there that would be interested, but it's like planning to record in other states and other cities is one thing, but like going to another country and
Yeah,
doing something else would be like a whole other journey. So
that's true. Yeah.
maybe in the future, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, yeah.
So now that you, how long has it been since the EP has dropped at this point now?
It dropped in late April, so
It was like
maybe June,
the
July.
summer vibes, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So about like 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans in sight for like any upcoming other projects or stuff that I'm assuming you are constantly
Mhm.
always working on new music. So
Yeah, there's definitely new music that I just been tinkering with. Nothing necessarily like a project anytime soon. I would say, maybe sometime next year,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
anything. But right now, is really trying to push this project.
yeah,
And
kind of put you all into this one.
yeah, and really just live shows too. I was doing, like I had mentioned, a lot of like live shows myself in 2019. Like
Mhm.
for that whole year, I was trying to push that, and like we were getting a good momentum, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah, that
So
was
that was like a whole. So this whole thing, at least for me right now, is like a whole
like a bounce back from
retry.
that.
Yeah, 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 and with the band too, I feel like people take it more serious. You know what I mean? It's not just like me, and it's just I think there's more to it. There's more character. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I'm
Yeah.
excited, man. It's been cool just getting different gigs, and just
Yeah.
really off of the strength of people going to the shows, or just people who know of me
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool because like I said, like I can't wait to try to catch you guys soon live
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I feel like whenever live performances, it's kind of really what like captures like the I guess the version of the music that's put out, but it's like in its
Mhm.
highest peak, like the best way that could be presented because it's
Yeah.
in person and you're there, kind of just putting you
Yeah.
all into it. So that's very interesting.
Mhm.
What other have you ever had do you like play sex for other artists? Or is that mainly just
Mm.
kind of something that you've always just kind of kept to yourself?
No, I've played for other artists.
Mhm.
Yeah, like this past, I guess, yeah, this earlier in the year, I played. There's a band called Wonder Wheel out in California.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of more indie. A good friend of mine, Shanzian, I played.
Okay, yeah.
Who actually used to live in Austin. He lives in New York now, but also a really great artist. I think who else? Yeah, Caleb Powers, also another artist out here. He wrote like a saxophone part, and then I played it for him, like on the
Mhm.
record. And yeah, I'm just working on just with other artists, trying to, hey, like if you want some saxophone, let me know. Like
Yeah.
just trying to branch out, you know what I mean, and just share that. So.
And do you record all that at home, or do you have like a go-to studio where you set up? Because
Mhm.
remember whenever we went to school for recording, we recording arts and whatnot. The
Mhm.
saxophone was always my favorite instrument to record.
Mhm.
It's my favorite instrument in
Mhm.
general, So it
Nice,
was
man.
always fun
Yeah.
recording it and having like the proper mic setup for it, and then just mixing it.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that's a whole other engineering story too there. But do
For
you do that
sure.
all on your own?
Yeah, mostly I record like my demos on my own.
Mhm.
But when I do the final versions, I go to Colin, who I mentioned.
Okay.
He mixes and masters actually all my music.
Oh, wow.
So
So,
he's like the engineer, like
Mhm.
in house, and yeah, we built kind of like a studio at his spot
Mhm.
basically, and over the years just gotten better equipment
Yeah.
and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the main thing right now is just kind of going to him. But like I mentioned, like just ideas, or if I
Mhm.
have like, and I want to record something for someone and send it to them quick, I'll do it at the house. I
Yeah.
like that luxury of being able to record.
Yeah,
yourself,
the freedom
you know?
of being able to just you get an idea because
Yeah.
I feel like it's something a lot of people like they'll have an idea and then they don't put it out immediately.
Or I got to book a studio session, and it's like go
Yeah.
through. Yeah, as much as I tried, I try to take out the middleman as much as I can. Like,
Yeah.
whoever it is, like I'm like, even if it isn't like the best quality at the
Mhm.
time, it's really the idea that matters. It's
Yeah,
not
for
necessarily
sure.
that quality, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it's funny because like I saw Robert Glasper a few weeks back, and one of the things he
Nice.
was talking about, one of he like after each song he kind of told the story about how it came to be, and
Oh, that's
how,
cool.
in one of
Yeah.
the songs he was talking about how he immediately had an idea, like that kind of he heard something, and then he like pulled out his phone and just put it on voicemail. He was like, artist,
Yeah.
voicemail will make it your best friend, because like
Dude,
you know
yeah.
you never know, like the idea could just slip away immediately after if you don't catch it right then and there, you know. So
Yeah, no, I've been definitely on voicemail for a minute.
yeah.
Yeah, just doing that, and even melodies or just things that come to mind and
Hmm.
that sort of thing. Yeah,
That's cool, man.
yeah,
Yeah, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the project, and I love everything that you
appreciate it,
have been
man.
doing, and happy for you and your new family now.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
As a fellow father, like that's
Oh,
cool
that's
to be
awesome,
able
man.
to see
Yeah.
people come in and have their babies. You say you have a boy, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
How old
Yeah.
is he now?
9 months actually.
Oh man, you still have a little baby,
Yeah.
man. I have
How
a.
about you? Yeah.
She's 11. She turns 12 in
Oh
December. So,
wow.
yeah, bro,
You're almost
she's
a teenager.
yeah, don't remind me, man.
Sheesh.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the time flies by. So I always
I
try to tell
bet.
people just just cherish those moments, which I'm sure you do. But it's just like one
Mm-hmm.
of those things where like you don't think about it, and then you blink and then bam, like man.
Yeah. Man.
By the time I know it, she's gonna be like 18 or 25, and
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Dude, I can imagine, man. Yeah, for us, it's been a journey, man. It's been a
Yeah.
great experience so far, and my girlfriend Daisy, she's also into creative art. I mean,
Okay.
she does fashion design.
Oh, nice.
She has a brand called Espiritu Libre,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, man, it's cool because she does her thing, I do my thing, and we're just
So
helping
it's a
out each
very
other.
creative household then.
It is very, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So it's nice because she understands that, like, hey, I may need to leave for a little
Hmm.
bit, go do this show or
Yeah.
creative thing, and then come right back. But and same thing for her.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
have
So
each other's back in that way.
yeah, so like raising our baby boy has been really cool experience. Especially
Mhm.
just trying to figure out all the timing things and
Yeah.
plans and all that sort of
And it
thing.
just happens naturally. It's one of the things where I feel like we
Yeah,
try to like hop on and just try to hold downs, but it's just it's
yeah.
impossible with a baby. Like it's a baby, so like I'm sure y'all are doing an amazing job. So that's very
Thank
cool.
you, bro. Yeah.
Does your girlfriend, does she help you a lot of with your fashion, and like especially like with the clothes that you
Mm.
have whenever like you're doing the cover or stuff like that, or is that kind of more so like you take it
Mm.
upon yourself?
I always like to say she's my wardrobe consultant
Yeah.
full time. No, she helps out a lot for sure,
Yeah.
and she's not shy to tell me what she really feels, which is good. She gives me good opinions, and but yeah, a lot of like the wardrobe early on my projects is inspired by a lot of the Chicano culture,
Okay.
like this past the Melón project. I was really inspired. I have been really inspired by like the Zoot Suit
Oh
era
yeah.
and just how that was like really just important in the Chicano culture,
Yeah, it
and
is.
that kind of goes back to the West Coast and LA and that
Hmm.
sort of thing. But yeah, so I try to touch upon these things, and
Hmm.
not necessarily like super in your face, but if you look more into it,
You
there's
understand
little
that there's
things.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and then obviously like in LA, the cholo culture kind of
Yeah,
came on and became its own thing, but I like to think that there's more than just that for Latinos and
yeah,
us. You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? Like a
Yeah,
lot of people
they shouldn't
think
look at us
about.
and just think that immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Like in movies and everything, you always have like, oh, he's the Chicano guy, and then it's like, he's a cholo, or he's like,
Yeah, and they're always like bald faded, and that's
yeah,
it.
bro. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think we have a lot more unique
Yeah,
characteristics
than just
and
being
versions of
generalized.
us. Yeah,
Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
So that's my goal is to show a different version of what that could be, like
Yeah,
what a modern Mexican American
for
type
sure.
of
That's
thing is.
awesome. I think that's
Yeah,
really cool, and it's very important for sure.
yeah,
Especially because like as I was mentioning, that you go to LA and like it's everywhere. Our culture, our people,
yeah,
they're everywhere.
yeah.
And I could kind of say the same thing about here, but it's not as obvious because
Mm-hmm.
Austin is I guess the best way to put it's a very white city,
Yeah,
and
no, it's true.
we have our places, we have our people, but it's one of
Mm-hmm.
those things where you kind of have to go out and look for it, and unless you know
Yeah,
already,
man.
So,
Yeah,
have you ever
100%.
had? Did you ever have issue with that whenever you first moved here, where you kind of had to like kind of look and search to find, not essentially
Yeah.
just go and be with your people, but like
Mm-hmm.
communicate and just go find stuff that
Mm-hmm.
you enjoy and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I I think I thought that it would be easier to find more of the people, but of our people, but yeah, it was interesting. I feel like I had a little bit of a culture shock and the
Yeah.
opposite because my school was like predominantly Latino and black, like in high school
Hmm.
back in Arizona, and then I came here. I think it's probably my job when I moved out here.
Okay.
So I work as like a landscape designer, and
Okay.
it's predominantly white. Like
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there's not really a
Yeah,
lot of
my brother
Latinos.
was doing the same thing. He would always tell
Dude,
me.
yeah. So it's kind of corporate office culture.
Hmm.
So early on, it was like, damn, like where are our gente, bro? Like,
Right?
I was trying to find a lot of that, and eventually I did find some
Hmm.
people, and I joined some groups like Latinos in Architecture was a
Hmm.
really,
Oh
and I was
wow.
more on the design side, but it really helped me understand what the landscape was
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as like the
What it takes to do this and that.
yeah, and there's just people out here, and then from there it was like, all right, there's definitely other artists as well that
Hmm.
are doing things and that sort of thing. But I try to stay true to just working with people of color and that sort of thing because I feel
Yeah.
like we don't have those opportunities as much, and also just showcasing there's a lot of great talented people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's always been like that, and like the same goes for me. Like my most recent job, like it's I'm essentially the only Mexican there, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
learning how to work with, I guess the best way to put it, with a different culture
Yeah.
that's not as used to how we work, especially when it's like, you have those moments where like there's somebody else that speaks Spanish and like other people know, and you want to just go and just say something in Spanish, but it's like, damn, I don't have nobody to kind of like cheese me
Yeah.
out corner,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But it's definitely
Yeah,
something
for real.
that we're like, it's frustrating because like if oftentimes it does feel like we kind of have to adapt and
Right.
so it's kind of like, yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's like you've heard like code switching
yeah,
or like that
exactly,
sort of
that's,
thing,
yeah,
and
so you have to learn how
y-
to, I guess, act in a sense, but
yeah,
more so to their benefit, I guess, but the best way to put it, but
yeah. It's a challenge sometimes, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with I guess being in those
adapting.
being in those environments and adapting. I think if anything, it makes you stronger as far
Yeah.
as like learning how to cope with different people. I think
Especially
that's
once
really
you
the
get,
thing.
yeah, especially once you get to
Yeah.
like and get into like the environments where like people are like thinking like, well, what is he doing here? But like once you learn to accept and adapt, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm okay to be here. I'm comfortable. It's my space. Like, so
Yeah, for sure, man. I think early on moving out here, I felt a lot of like imposter syndrome.
yeah,
Like, damn, like I'm like the very few person out here like that's doing it like that, and do I even deserve to be out here? You know what I mean? But I think that's something in our culture that is very common. You
yeah,
know what I mean? But um, shouldn't feel that way. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Especially if you put the work in.
For sure, and I feel like that's one of the things that like nowadays people talk about like breaking the cycle out, like generational cycle and stuff like that. And
Mm.
there's a lot of things, but I feel like those are one of the things where we can't just kind of get stuck into the same situation over and over because,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, like we're not just this one singular type of Mexican or Hispanic or however.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
so many different opportunities that we can go into in different routes. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely,
but yeah,
man.
man, it's been an amazing conversation. I appreciate you
Yeah.
for coming out, and definitely we'll be catching you out in one of your shows.
Cool, man.
Real
Appreciate
quick, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, where they your
it.
social media, your music, and the project too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. So Midnight Navy, like the color, on all social medias. Well, Instagram really is the main one, and TikTok. Trying to get on that. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah.
It's the game, bro. But and then on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming platforms, Midnight Navy.
Thank you so much, man. And as I did mention before, I do try to end it off on a positive note. Would you like to kick
Hmm.
it off? Or would you like me to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll go
Cool.
off the
It's
dome.
it's
Yeah,
rare that people want to go first. So I'm always like having to like, oh, all right,
yeah.
go for it, man.
Yeah, man. I think a positive note. There's always something that you're capable of doing. You may not know it. I think for me personally, taking chances on different creative pursuits and trying different things has helped me understand more of myself. So I would encourage people to take those chances and learn from trial and error because I think that's important.
That's the best way to do it. Yes, sir. Beautifully put. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man.
I guess mine would be Yeah. Hope your fantasy team kills whoever you're playing, man. Because my team is
Yeah,
playing. Yeah, I'm still. It's
that
week
too.
one. It's week one. But I'm just kidding. I know I've mentioned this maybe in the past, in the beginning of the show, like when we first started or not. But
Hmm.
I want to bring it back just because sometimes I forget this. But what I want to say is, don't forget to appreciate the little things in life because a lot of
Hmm.
times, we get carried away, we get busy, we have kids, jobs, and
Hmm.
the adult life that kind of comes into play. And one moment you're in your early 20s, the next moment you're turning 30 in a couple of months, which
Yeah,
is where
yeah.
I'm at. So like
No, I feel it.
it kind of helps you reflect, but it also just, yeah, never forget to appreciate the little things in life because sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes it's the only thing that kind of helps you get through the day. You could have a really shitty day, but it's not a shitty life. You just gotta
Yeah.
appreciate those little things. But yeah, that's my positive note, man.
Nice, man.
Midnight
That's
Navy,
good.
thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we can do this here again in the future and just
Yeah.
keep growing and thriving for our people. You're doing an amazing job and appreciate
Appreciate it.
everything that you're doing.
Thank you, man. Likewise.
Thank you. And it's this is Mario from the South Side. I don't know. It's perfect, and I'm with,
Midnight Navy.
and we are out.